Thank you. Hope you all enjoyed your lunch, and hopefully you don't drift off this afternoon after a nice big lunch and a second day. So we'll try and make this entertaining and have a bit of fun, and hopefully you can learn a fair bit about what's happening in loyalty and fintech. So first question goes to Claire, which is to my left. Hi, Claire.
You're all business.
I am all business, right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Right. Gift cards. So do people still gift cards? Because I know in my life, like, I don't really like receiving one, but if it's someone that sort of I don't really know, it's okay. Is this what happens still?
Yeah, gift cards is actually a $47 billion market industry here in Australia, and it's forecasted to be about $1 trillion globally by 2026. It's not insignificant. I think it's fair to say gift cards are pretty old school though. So, here we go, a bit of fun trivia. 50% of all gift cards sold still are physical. And what card is here for is to sort of bring it into the 21st century and make it a digital-first solution that's tokenized, secure, and enabled through your mobile wallet. And that's what we're here for. Fun stats, though. Corporates love gift cards for their use. So about 50% of the market's on a corporate perspective, and then 50% is for consumers that go into the shops and buy them. Better? Good. Sorry. So yeah, and then within that, gifting is still really, really important. You'd think a gift card is used for gifting, but no, there's a lot of self-use as well. So again, depending on the environment, right now, given the macroeconomic environment, people are using it more for self-use. They're using it as a budgeting tool, and especially if they see an offer or a discount, they can actually take advantage and use it as a cash flow management tool as well.
And then when you get a gift card, there might be like a potential expiry date on it, and do people use them? Is there a whole lot of like unused gift cards sifting out there in the ether somewhere?
Absolutely. So again, depends on the segment. So if you've got an entertainment or an experience gift card, like a red balloon card, there's up to 20% expiry of those funds that are available, which is really crappy experience, right, for the customer. People tend to forget to use it, or they're not aware of the balance on their card. But yeah, again, Card is in the business of trying to break that model, actually put the customer first and get them to actually engage and use it, and therefore grow the market, rather than a lot of incumbents today tend to rely on that expired float or balance that's available because it's a revenue line for many businesses that operate in the industry today. So we're all about trying to change that game.
Rochelle, I'm going to go over to you. Working at CBA, can you describe your role at CBA and what you do in regards to loyalty within FinTech?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. I am the GM of shopping at CBA, which is an enviable title for many working at the bank. What that means, though, is I run an area which is sourcing discounts and like discounts, cashback for our customers, so they save money on things they need to buy. So it's a really, really exciting area. And I was lucky enough recently jump on a plane. I don't know, hopefully a few of you have jumped on a plane and come down here. I think I was lucky enough to jump on a plane. I did do carry-on to get around the country, so I didn't lose my luggage along the way, but we got to do a trip around the world to speak to a whole lot of different loyalty, banks and fintechs, which was really interesting. So I thought I'll just share a couple of the things that I saw along the way. But cut me off if I keep talking, because I can get really excited about
my
this
watch
stuff.
is ticking. It's all good.
Firstly, really interesting. The holy grail is the purple cow. So I don't know if you know, purple cow is the old marketing expression for something that would grab your attention for at least 20 minutes. You can imagine a purple cow. Be quite interesting to look at, and you can look at it 20 minutes. So differentiation in loyalty programs is really what everyone's going for. The second thing is the freemium model, and we're seeing this in Australia, right? With Woolworths, the Extras program that they brought out, Uber One that they've brought out, and a couple of others where you pay and then you get benefits from it, but yet it's still a loyalty program. I think the third thing, which was really exciting, was the personalisation piece. So obviously we all know loyalty programs is a big play, is the data side. And, what can you do from a personalisation side? We saw examples like Lloyds Bank in the UK giving customers the option of choose one from 4. So, your standard is that, hey, we'll give you mobile phone insurance and we'll give you travel insurance and we'll give you this, and you get what you get, right? what you can log on then and do is say, oh, I'll have a free Netflix subscription, or I'll have a free Prime subscription. And I think that's really good, because what we're getting to is a personalisation, like what do I really want to make me more loyal to the company. And
just on that topic, in regards to programs that people join, I mean, you know, like I'm a Uber One member or something, it's $9.99 a month or something, but I have to pay to be a member. Is that a thing now, that like you pay and then you get a discount, or if you don't pay, you don't get the discount?
Yeah, I think that's what we've seen recently, and I think it's a really interesting trend where you're getting better benefits, but you're paying for those benefits. And we've seen Woolworths move into it from Woolworths Rewards. They do the freemium model. So you've got your Woolworths Rewards program, but then you can step up and pay $7 a month and get 10% off your largest grocery shop for the month. You know, Uber One's the same sort of one. They started with a free program and they've moved into this paid model.
And Deborah, when a company does all these funky little loyalty programs, you're in the background working with them in terms of setting it up and establishing it. You want to talk about your business and how you fit in?
Yeah, sure. So OpenSparks is a platform as a service. We integrate directly to the schemes, Visa, MasterCard, EFTPOS in Australia, GCash is a QR payment code in the Philippines. So we register the merchant's ID with the schemes, and then the consumer registers their 16-digit PAN or their payment card, again via us to the schemes. And when they transact at that merchant, we get that transaction data, we run the rules on that data, and we give the rewards, the points, the offer back to the consumer that the merchant funds. So this is merchant-funded rewards using your payment card as a method of IDing the transaction. So it's no more, you know, get your flybys out or your whatever your loyalty coupon is, and then make the payment. It's a one swipe, one transaction. So it takes a lot of friction out of loyalty. And I just want to address something that Claire was talking about in terms of breakage. So gift card breakage, big industry, but you're losing, because the gift card owner, they get that breakage. If you don't bother spending your last $5 or your last 2 cents even, they are getting that, and that adds up. So with what we do, there's no opportunity for breakage, because I'll just give you an example. So we launched the largest Asian loyalty program in a shopping mall in the Philippines just when COVID hit. And so that was with 30 shopping malls, 10,000 merchants, 2 million footfall a day back then. And so they couldn't actually do a loyalty program in any other way apart from issuing their own card, or by going up to the highest level, which is the payment network, the payment gateway. So they're using our technology, and so a consumer can shop at all of the merchants within the malls. The points they get all are collected into their wallet, and they can then redeem that where they want to, either with the merchants in the mall or on Wi-Fi, or assets that the mall owner own. And so there's no breakage, because you're collecting all your points from all the shops within that shopping centre. And so no breakage by having individual programs.
Deborah, you mentioned obviously rewards and the types of rewards people want, and going into sort of the loyalty and FinTech gifts and more part, like we've seen things like Upstreet where you get fractional shares rewards, you get cash back, you get 10% off. What's happening now? What are the trends? What are people doing?
Well, look, there's a lot of different things happening right now, but certainly people want to be able to pool all of their rewards and offers. They don't want to go to, one merchant one day and spend their money and get a little tiny reward, and then go to another merchant and get a little tiny reward. And how can you actually redeem all of those rewards quickly? So pooling is the best way to actually get your value, because you're being able to pool all your shopping at a lot of different merchants, not just one. So it's about pooling, I think.
And this is where CBA might come in regards to sort of integration with your digital wallet potentially, and onboarding, or at least kind of applying the discount, whatever it may be, without pulling out your Rebel Sport card from your wallet.
Yeah, I think I don't know how many you have of loyalty programs. I've at least signed up to at least 8 to 10 and probably a whole lot more, because you get caught at the cash register and they say, hey, we'll give you 20% off if you sign up to our loyalty program. You're like, oh yeah, that sounds great. People have a lot of loyalty programs that they're signed up to. I think, and to Deborah's point, they're not that useful. You forget about them. So, one of the great things I saw in the UK was this notion of card-linked loyalty, where you have all those loyalty programs all linked onto your payment card. So you spend at your payment card and then you get the points or the whatever it is, the stamps or something like that, all applied to you as your account. You can see them all in one place. That was pretty cool. I got very excited personally.
And Claire, when it comes to the digital gift card, like your application use, are you working on a B2B model or a B2C model, and how does it work? I know you gave me a gift card voucher, and I think there might be one on the screen. I don't know. I don't want to ruin things, but don't get out your phones just yet. But in regards to like the usage and what people are spending when it comes to gift cards, and obviously with 150 interest rate rises in a row, we're going to see people focusing on their wallet a bit more and trying to use potential discounts and gift cards. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. So we're in the business of both B2B and B2C. So special.com.au, you can see up there, Intersekt just became special. That's a good play on words, everyone. If you scan that QR code, we're going to offer you guys, if you just fill in the form, we'll give you guys a coffee card.
Oprah Winfrey, here we go.
Oprah Winfrey, it's prize time. So
well done to the lucky 40 that joined us.
I think everyone likes coffee, and if not, you can have a chai latte or a peppermint tea, I'm sure. But, go ahead and use it. Just
scan away, people.
Yeah, get the experience, because I think what we want to do is show that consumer offering. But from a B2B perspective, I mean, we've got great partners in the likes of MasterCard, obviously CommBank, etc. But we're in that business as well of working with retailers, working with many HR companies as well. And coming back to your second question about sort of what's the usage, obviously retail, big retailers, the likes of JB, Hi-Fi, Myer, David Jones, all the standard ones are very, very common when it comes to gift cards. But here's a fun fact. There's about 164,000 retailers in Australia, and yet only 3% are actually in the business of gift cards. And a lot of that comes back down to the effort, cost and time it takes to actually set up and run your own gift card program. So Carter is actually all about focusing, growing that size of the pie fivefold. So of that 47 billion, obviously we don't want to claim a share of that. What we want to do is open that up so that any small, medium or large retailer in Australia can actually be in that business. And it's a very slick onboarding process that takes days. You just send your business details, your brand assets, we'll load you up and we'll get you set up pretty quickly. So that's what really we're about. We want to be that one-stop shop, that one platform for gift cards in any way, shape or form.
Do people know what the discounts are on various retailers, and how do they find that out? I mean, like for instance, I'm with Suncorp based in Queensland, and they have a rewards thing, and you go there and you're like, oh, a Woolworths voucher, that's interesting, because I shop at Woolworths every week with my 3 kids, and you're like, oh, 4%, that's interesting. And so then you go through the whole process of putting your name in, and you get 4% or 3% off a week, which could be $10 or $5, whatever it might be. Like, is that a thing? Like, do people look for that type of percentage all the time, or do people know about it? I don't know, just like brand awareness.
Look, I think there's always going to be bargain hunters that are out there looking to save some money. There's also going to be, coming back to gift cards, that incidents of gifting usage as well. We're not about trying to offer a discount per se or a value add in that point, that's that piece of loyalty. We're really about enabling businesses and consumers to use gift cards as they would in any way, shape or form. So can I go rogue here?
You can go rogue. Let's go rogue.
So just as an example, like I said, 50% of all physical gift cards are out there today. Part of our technology is the ability for you to scan. Can I see you hold this, please?
Got 2 mics here.
Nicely, thank you. You're holding my microphone. I'm giving coffee cards, people.
Yes.
You can hold.
You get a car.
You get a card. So you can literally use your phone, scan it against your camera, and convert that into a tokenized digital wallet. So that's something that, thank you, we've enabled as well, that technology. And that's really what we're all about, bringing new experiences to it so that people want to use these cards more, they want to buy more gift cards. And we come back to growing the size of the pie rather than taking a share of the existing pie.
Deborah, the onboarding process in terms of loyalty and gift cards. I walk into JB Hi-Fi, I said, do you want to join? You're like, in your head, you're like, here comes 2 pieces of paper that I have to fill out and they want all my data. And like, you know, is that getting better? Or am I just not shopping at JB Hi-Fi too often? But, you know, like what's the process? Do people like have this inherent like, oh, well, yeah, I'll join, but it's just a data grab, or what's going on?
Okay, so our best use case, we're a B2B, and so our best B to work with is a company with a large member base. Having a large member base, they want to actually bring in merchant offers to that member base to give those members value. And so in our platform, it's very simple. A program launches. They sign up the merchants into the program. So for the merchants, a one-time onboarding process. We get the merchant ID that goes to the schemes. And then on the other side, the consumers register their details one time. And we don't want a lot of PI. We don't need to know any of that. It's all up to what the program owner wants to give. But it's very, very simple, one time, and then all you do is shop at that merchant or those groups of merchants, and you get the cash back or the points or the value that the merchant funds. So it's really simple, very frictionless.
Claire went a bit rogue here, so I'm going to go a little bit rogue with Rochelle on the stage here about loyalty working in a Big Four bank. You know, like I grew up with the Dolomites, and a lot of people are loyal with Commonwealth Bank, and that's why. And I've done a few polls on LinkedIn, and yes, people still bank with Commonwealth Bank because of the Dolomites. How much focus is on, you know, keeping that customer and loyalty within the bank, as opposed to maybe other customers that use Upbank, for instance?
Yeah, I think it's key, right? There's so many of you guys in the room probably that were Dolomite accounts, and we get it every day. I was a Dolomite account, account holder. And it's so key for the bank to be, recognising the customers for their loyalty, but also rewarding them when they do more banking with us. So, I think that's the key thing. We announced fairly recently that we're piloting a bank-wide recognition program for rewarding and recognising customers for their loyalty. And the area that I run, where we're looking at helping our customers save more, is part of that.
And part of your role is looking at other different partnerships in and outside, what a traditional bank might do. Can you talk about a couple that you've done?
Yeah, pretty obviously from a bank's perspective, we don't do a lot of retailing. So we're looking to our partners to be able to do that. So we work really closely with MasterCard. We also we did a partnership with a company called Little Birdie, which is an amazing brand new shopping aggregator platform looking at saving customers money. It was really interesting. I was talking to my boss last night, and she said she was interviewing someone yesterday that said they were researching to have this interview with her, which is smart. They came across the Little Birdie partnership that she'd done, and they logged on and they saved themselves $300 just on what they were going to buy. So, that's what we're all about. Whatever I can do to help our customers save money on things they need to buy is really exciting. And then the gift card partnership is super exciting. To what Claire's said, just getting gift cards out there, but also if people want to use gift cards for themselves, that's great. And then hopefully what we can do with merchants in the future is take sort of, if you've got, I don't know if they're in Melbourne or where you live, but, Messina ice cream is always the one that I use. Wouldn't it be great to be able to send an offer to people who live within a 5K radius of Messina, a $5 gift voucher to go get a free ice cream? That's the power of what we can do with gift cards.
Interesting. From a loyalty program per se, and again, drifting somewhat outside of FinTech, like Qantas Frequent Flyers, for instance, why have they done so well, do you think? And everyone knows their brand, and most people pay the money to sign up, and in its own right within the Qantas group is a very meaningful part of their business. Can others mimic that, and why are there not more Qantas Frequent Flyers that people are so loyal to?
Yeah, I think that's a question for me, but anyone in the room can add to this. I think they have a highly complex program that they're managing to deliver really, really simply. So we all get it, and they're also then innovating on top of it. It was at one stage, I don't know if it's now, but it was valued higher than the airline when you did an evaluation on it. The engagement that it gets and the aspirational feeling you get when you engage with the program, I think is really exciting. And the only other thing I think it does really well is it enables you to get access to things that are lower value for them but higher value for you. So they can give away, you know, seats, or they can give away those sort of things at a much lower marginal cost than what we can actually buy them for.
And Claire, that feeling that you mentioned there, Rochelle, about like you've just scanned to get a gift card. I mean, in theory, you could just stand at the door and give people $3, right? Like it's kind of that. But when you get a gift card and you go to a coffee shop, you're like, oh, well, this is cool. I got a gift card, or I went to this session. Did you go to that session? No, I did. I got free coffee. How good's that? Even though the coffee's free, but you know, outside of this, with the walls, right?
Correct.
But like, you know, it's a feeling thing. So how do you kind of keep that feeling alive?
Well, that's why we went for the name Special. It's all about invoking that emotion and that feeling of show me that you know me. So if we go back to that whole gifting ethos, it's about offering a solution to someone that you care about, where you want to give a gift that matters, but you may not know specifically at that point in time the actual item that you think would resonate. So this broadens that for you. It gives you that choice, but it still allows you to land it and present a very thoughtful, really great, nice, wrapped up, pretty. If anyone's downloaded it, you'll see that you get the woohoo when it comes and stuff like that.
Oh, you're like the pokey sound.
Yeah. So
just
it's
to induce the happiness and things, eh?
Yeah. So it's just all about making that experience mean something in a new, fresh way. We are targeting. You'll see from our branding, we're much more targeted to the younger audience. It's all about coming up in that digital nomad first target audience, but it's really about using it in ways that matter. Having said that, like, it's a great compliment, I would say, coming back to loyalty for cashback as well, which is quite rational. That's usually a self-use type generated, how do I save some money? So this is a really lovely complement to that.
One final question before we go to Q&A. Deborah, in regards to businesses and their mindset around a loyalty program or a gift card program, whatever it might be, as a business, is it high on the priority, or businesses are sort of too busy just doing their own thing?
Look, companies need to find better ways to market and sell their product and services. So with what we provide, it's very targeted. So people only take the offer if they want it. And so the business only pays for that service that we provide when the consumer makes a purchase. So it's actually a very streamlined, cost-effective way of doing it, because the merchant's only paying for what the value is that the consumer purchases from them. So it's an ideal opportunity for businesses to actually just target their marketing.
We've got about 5 minutes for Q&A, which probably be one or two questions out there. I'm sure there is some questions in regards to what's happening in FinTech and loyalty per se, and gift cards. There's plenty of topics, but there might be a mic floating around. If not, stick up your hand. It's kind of, oh, there is a mic. There, we've got a question straight up. You beauty.
G'day. Yeah, thanks, Nick from Canberra. Bit of a selfish one, actually, because all our clients are businesses. So I'm just, it might not be the right panel to answer this, but just interested in any trends, observations around how motivated business owners are with loyalty programs and what types get them excited.
And when you talk businesses, are you talking large business, like any types?
SMEs to sort of lower corporate, typically maybe a family business, for example. So, you know, someone with an Amex card, Amex points, Qantas points, that type of thing.
So in the SME world, it's very hard to do a loyalty program because you can't afford it. So that's why we've been so successful in the shopping mall space. We've got one in the Philippines. We're launching something in Australia soon. Just watch this space. And so within a shopping mall, you've got some big retailers, but you've also got some smaller retailers that actually cannot afford to actually do a loyalty program. So an amalgam of a group of small SMEs is a perfect opportunity for us to actually enable all of them to get some value, to give a reward or an offer to a member base. So we're also doing, I'm from Sydney, we're also doing in Sydney a localised loyalty program in the Surrey Hills precinct. And so again, a perfect use case for us. So the local residents can join a local program. The local shops, restaurants, bars, etc., they can put an offer into the group and, of course, incentivise the members to come and shop, dine at their establishment. So that's the sort of thing that we want to really focus on.
Hey, Nick, I'm just going to add to that. It's a great question and so key, right? Because we've got so many small businesses out there. You know, one of the things that we're able to do, and a lot of guys do this, is at least get it known out to customers. At the bank, obviously, we've got a lot of data on who's who. We know where they live or where they transact, and a lot of the offers we do are personalised in the way that we do offers out to, you know, there might be a cafe in Fitzroy that we can send out to, you know, the people who live within 2 kilometres of that cafe. And I think, you know, Claire and Dave's business in the gift card side is a really great way to do it, because you can send a gift card for a local cafe, a local restaurant that's just opened up, say, hey, come and visit us and have a $10 gift voucher on us.
Yeah, it's something we're really passionate about, because a lot of times you've got to integrate from a POS point of view. You've got to have a lot of set. We all know from small businesses how time poor they are and they're focused on their own business. We've taken all that away. So we're setting it all up for them on their behalf. There's nothing they need to do apart from give us their business details and their brand assets, and we're off to the races. So that's why we really think that we've got a good chance of offering some value to them in a way that meets their needs first and foremost, but also can show incrementality to their business as well.
We've got time for one more. If not, I've got one floating in my head, but okay. We're going to cull it, but I'm going to go one more, which is your point about rewarding like longer use cases of people, like, you know, the revert, like your interest rate goes down the more you pay, and sort of struck by a chord, like let's say Xero. People use Xero, maybe if you're a customer for 2 years and they work out the lifetime value of you and you're very sticky to them. Like, should more businesses be thinking about, okay, this person's used them for 2 years or 3 years, and there you get 10% off, and then you get 5 years, you get 40% off, and at 10 years, you get 80% off, or something like that. Like, shouldn't there be more of that, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'll kick off and then you guys add. And we see it in a number of industries, particularly insurance is the classic one, right? Where, you know, you're an NRMA, you've been a member for this long, therefore you get this tiering of membership, and with that comes benefits. So I think it's something that companies really need to think about it, and it's just a juggle. You know, you might have been a member for a long time, but, you know, you might not be contributing to that company, so there's sort of a recognition and a reward piece to it.
Speaking of insurance companies, we have had conversations with a number of groups regarding insurance, because it's a grudge spend. And so insurance companies, and also they've got a high turnover, so high attrition rate. So insurance companies looking at how they can actually have their members benefit from merchant offers that come into the member that can then contribute to paying off the insurance. So that's a good use case that we're exploring.
All right, we have nailed it. We've got 29 seconds left. That's great. Good timing. I'd like to thank our guests today for, hope you all learnt a lot, and thank you.
Thank you.